February 2012, my family faced a crisis that we had not expected. Just 2 weeks after my wife Sarah had given birth to our 9th child, she was resting at home and suddenly she had chest pains. She was rushed to the hospital. The doctors told us that she had had a heart attack. We moved her to another hospital. Before they could do anything, another heart attack. And then an emergency procedure. Doctors told us that she had severe artery blockage in a major artery of the heart. My heart was filled with tension and worry, especially for my children. I didn't know what was going to happen. My wife and I were happily settled in the United States. I was working as a senior manager in an IT company, and life was going very well. We always wanted to have a large family. I could say a lot about my wife, Sarah, an absolutely extraordinary woman, devoted wife, mother, very talented. I was blessed to have such a woman as my wife. In 2009, my company asked me to consider moving to India to take up a new role. It was a great opportunity, but we had a lot of apprehensions about how the children would adjust. They had all been born and brought up in the United States. But we decided to move, and we were pleasantly surprised to find that the children adjusted really well. Sarah had continued homeschooling them because for her, in addition to doing well academically, she also wanted to focus on building their character.
She got involved with church here with musical activities for other homeschooled kids, when teaching us, when helping out different relatives. She was always very kind, just poured everything she had into these people. Even if it meant that she herself would be tired or she would get stressed, she still did it joyfully, and that was the kind of example all of us had as we all grew up.
And professionally, things were going very well. Life was good. January 25th, 2012 was a very happy day in our family. Our 9th child was born. But then, on February the 10th, while Sarah was resting with the baby at home, myself and the other children, we were out, she suddenly started having chest pains. And then some neighbors rushed her to the hospital. The doctors told us that she had a severe blockage in a major artery of the heart. They also told us that the options were limited and there was not much they could do. They tried a few things hoping that her heart could recover. I was devastated. February 14th was Valentine's Day. We had a very happy conversation that day. That night, her breathing became very labored, and the doctors had to put her on a ventilator and sedate her. I couldn't talk to her anymore. From then, each day was up and down. One moment the doctors were giving us hope, and the next, things were going the other direction. Just when it seemed like there was nothing else that they could do, the doctors came up with another procedure to try. I was grasping at every shred of hope that I could find. Many were praying for us.
So the next morning I woke up and I started reading from the Bible for him, and I could see some kind of calmness that descended upon him, and he got the assurance that no matter what happens, God would lead him and take care of him and his family as well.
Right at that moment, I just felt a sense of peace, that God was completely in control. He gave me the strength to make it from day to day as we went through that time.
I remember the time when Sarah was hospitalized and the kids didn't get to see her for about a week. It was a very emotionally traumatic time for them. And finally, when they got to see her, she was in a state of coma, and they started singing a song, somehow hoping that she would listen to them.
On February 25th, Sarah's earthly journey ended. Myself, the kids, our family members, and a lot of friends were around her when this happened. All of a sudden, I was a single father of 9 children. So many questions flooded my mind. Why did this happen to me? Why did God not heal her when so many were praying for her? How am I going to raise 9 children all by myself? How would I handle my responsibilities at work along with those of the family? How will they get the motherly love that they need? I was so faithful in living a good life. Why did this happen to me? The core of my faith was shaken.
After Sarah's passing, we saw George taking better care of his health, becoming more involved with the kids. The older ones started taking care of the younger ones, and the younger ones became so independent.
As my personal relationship with God grew, I began to find strength and peace from Him to deal with the dark days. I experienced the grace and peace of God as I saw Him provide for me and my children in so many ways. Anyone's life can end in a moment. I experienced that firsthand when my wife died so young. Are you afraid of facing death? You too can have the same assurance that I have. Find out how. Call the number on your screen to receive a complimentary copy of the book, Power to Change.